One of the great things about Exbury Gardens is its wonderful collection of trees. We love trees at Exbury. We've got about 230 acres of grounds, and within that there's about 24,000 plants. So that's what's on my database, and probably about 3/4 of those are trees. So it gives you an idea of the scale of our collection here at Exbury. Behind us is a magnificent Quercus petraea, which is the sessile oak. This wonderful oak is at least 300 years old, if not more. Trees are really important for the garden, very important for the structure of the garden. They give that lovely elegant backdrop to all the underplanting. They also create shade for visitors and shade for the younger plantings underneath them. They also create that structure, and they're great for habitat and great for the environment. Okay, so the tree behind me here is Cedrus Atlantica, the Atlantic cedar. This magnificent specimen planted back in the 1700s is one of the great trees of Exbury. It's a lovely tree. You can see the huge canopy above us and this lovely big monopodal trunk, which is what gives it the classic outline of the cedar. But it's got various fungal problems and it's starting to get old. So one of the things we've done to help it is we've removed all the turf, and then we've air spaded it to alleviate some of the compaction, and we've mulched it with wood chip in order to increase the microbial activity in the soil and to try and release some of that compaction and give it a new lease of life. And as you can see, it's starting to recover and it's doing really well. We're also keeping the public off with this rope around it to ensure that it doesn't get compacted, and we don't run the lawnmower underneath it or anything like that to ensure that the roots don't get damaged. So this is one of my personal favourite trees here in the grounds at Exbury Gardens. This is Platinus Orientalis, the Oriental plane. It's one of the parents of the London plane, one of the classic street trees that lines all the boulevards and avenues in all the main European cities. This magnificent specimen was probably planted back in the 1700s, and it comes from Asia Minor and the Near East. And it grows into a fantastic age, got really robust root systems, which mean that these layers really, or suckers, which came up from the main trunk, the main plant is in the middle. These are suckers which have come up around the outside and then fallen over, but because it's got such powerful roots, they've kept on growing horizontally, and it's created this wonderful effect with these lovely big boughs that kids like to sit on and take their photos. It's really tactile. I defy anyone to walk past it without trying to give it a stroke or a pat. And it's got this marvellous sort of camouflage bark, which is one of the things that makes it such a successful street tree, because the bark is constantly peeling off, which means it doesn't really absorb all the pollution. It's famous for growing in London during the sort of smog and the pea supers. One of the great things about it is its lovely open habit. Most of the leaves and the twigs are all held right at the end of the branches, which means you get this magnificent open canopy, so you can look right up into it. There's still a bit of leaf left on it. It goes a lovely canary yellow in the autumn, and when the light shines through, you get this lovely dappled light. So it's a magnificent tree, one of the classic Exbury trees. One of the tasks that we've given ourselves is to restore the canopy in the garden. So over the next sort of 3 to 5 years, we've got a programme of planting lots of trees, mainly native oaks. This is Quercus robur, the English oak, which is native in this part of the UK. And we're going to be planting hundreds of these oak trees around the garden. So this one is just snuck in here in a little gap between rhododendrons, and it's going to come up and make a nice sort of overstory, which creates the shelter for the garden and also that sense of sort of being in an enclosed woodland, which is really important in a garden like Exbury.